welcome race fans back to another episode of the Last Walts Media. I'm your host, of course, Donnie Waltz. Before we get into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to my friend Zach Coldiron. He hosts a D&D campaign podcast. It's called Forge D20. We're very proud of him. We went ahead, sponsored him, kind of like how you would do any kind of race car. And yeah, we just want to give him that quick little shout out. They're getting ready to do a new campaign, so it's kind of the pivotal time to go ahead and start something new. If you do like D&D, go ahead and check them out at Forge D20 Podcast. They're available on every social media platform, I believe, and on Spotify. So, without further ado, I will go ahead and address my dear friend. Here's Tyler Orzechowski, right? Tyler, did I say it right?
Yeah, perfect, man.
Yeah, let's go. Wearing the Tyler Orzechowski hat that was shipped to Kansas and then drove back to Florida, of course.
Yeah, that's what's up. No, we of course always appreciate anybody that supports us. We have very limited merch, so those that hop on when we do, very much appreciated.
Yeah, we helped close out your 2020 inventory, 2022 inventory, right?
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't have a whole lot. We're actually in talks with some people for some more hats right now. Um, we would love to go the shirt route, like something fancy like this, right?
Oh yeah.
But just the front the money for that is a little tough for us. It's a couple grand, but hopefully we'll get there at some point.
There's somebody out there that's getting ready to sponsor a sprint car, probably.
I sure hope so. I got one with plenty of room on it for them.
Well, we hope for the 2024 season. Good Lord. I wish it was still 2020. Well, no, I don't wish it was 2023. We're moving past that.
Right.
I do wish that the 2024 car has not a lot of sponsorship room. So, of course, we intend to sponsor you. So we'll be taking up some paneling.
Shoot, yeah.
So my first question, I'll get into. I won't keep you too long
Oh,
because
you're good.
mainly, people don't like to listen to long podcasts. I kind of slowly get information from friends and everything. The short form we've been doing so much better than like doing a 40-minute episode or anything.
Nice.
But if I have to break it up, I will.
Well, I'll make
Two
it as short
parts.
and interesting as possible, right?
You're one of the most interesting sprint car drivers that we've had here in Florida. I mean, honestly, the most personality because like nobody else here seems to get the social media aspect of like promoting yourself, here in Florida.
Oh yeah, I can give James the credit for that. I never wanted to do any of it. He ever since we raced go-karts way back when, he always told me that I needed to do this, and I finally gave in when we bought the sprint car. So this is all James's fault.
Ah, man, what a credit he has. I've talked to him on a couple of different occasions. Like we were going to try to do something for the Chili Bowl, and like
Mhm.
that kind of like slid through. I was excited about doing that too.
Yeah, we had kind of talked about it. It was he had kind of brought something up to me. I actually didn't know he had talked to you about it, but about kind of like I don't know, I might be showing my age here, but like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of thing, where like watching the race and kind of giving our input, right?
Yeah, watch. I mean, like a race watch along is kind of like that would be very groundbreaking, honestly. Like if you ask me personally.
Yeah, no, it'd be cool. I just like for me, it was hard. Just I mean, like I have my family and everything. It's really hard for me to get home and get started on something like that. Um, we're I'm always so just hammered down 24/7 between family and work and racing and all that stuff. It's something I would have loved to do. It was just hard for me to commit the time.
Yeah. Um. All right. So my first question, it's kind of like a two-parter, but
Yeah.
so on the way to the track, so obviously this year you're racing the Carolina Sprint Tour.
Yeah.
So with those being much longer drives than what you're kind of used, well, I don't know if they're much longer than some of the drives, like especially to Hendry from Jacksonville. What kind of what's the playlist? What's the go-to playlist on race day?
Oh, easy. Man, on the way, we always got some electric callboy going, right? Hypa hypa, uh, something like that, right? Like something just intense, right?
Yeah,
We get down in the truck, right? That's our thing. Like I said, electric callboy is like our big, pump it up, hypa hypa, all that. Like that's our
okay.
jam, right? Like we get it going.
All right. Personally, I know Gruball. Gruball listens to like Day to Remember and like Of Mice and Men. Like I've heard that in the background of their videos
Yeah.
before. I'm like, oh man, that's my guy. Like that I can jam to. Like
Yeah, like
for
we listen to
sure.
all that stuff too. Like that's kind of our thing. Like matter of fact, me and Gruball, we went to a Beartooth concert together one time.
No
So like
way.
Beartooth and Wage War, uh, all that. So yeah, we have very similar music tastes. We just jam out. But like I said, Electric Callboy like just gets us freaking pumped up on the way to the racetrack.
That's fantastic. I've never like listened to them, so I'll have to
Oh,
like
you're in for a
peep
treat, my
some of their
friend.
music. Heck yeah. All right. So the other question, like the second part of this, so on race day, do you have any kind of like race day rituals that you have to go through in order to like kind of prepare yourself and strap in? Like, do you have to have like two hot dogs, not one, like two hot dogs, one with relish? Like, do you have anything like that?
I really don't. Like we just kind of, I mean, we show up and we just get ready, and however it goes, it goes. Like we don't have anything where like like some people are like, I gotta wear my purple underwear. Like I don't, I don't have anything like that, right?
Right.
It's just we just do our thing, right? We're pretty go with the flow. There's like little little things that we won't do, right? Like I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
There's definitely some like bad omens in the race world, and I was gonna actually mention some of those. So, like, personally, for us, we cannot have boiled peanuts like at all until after the feature.
Yeah, that's tough because they're really good.
Oh yeah,
But
dude,
um,
Casey's the worst. She's like, "Can we go get some boiled peanuts?" Like, no, Buck's racing, Roy's racing, Tyler's got a race tonight. We can't.
no, like we're not bad about that. Like we've had people with them in the pits before, and like the good thing is we suck all the time, so it doesn't matter. But uh,
That's
uh,
not true. I have stats from last year from the Top Gun race that showed you were running up front with the points leader, the points champion last year. You should have
blind.
gotten third in that heat race. I
Yes,
remember
I do
it.
remember that. I do remember that. Blind squirrel every once in a while.
Yeah,
No, but the only thing like I really like hammer down on is like we get pretty close to it with the fluorescent yellow, but like I don't have any green on the car. That's something we did even back to go-karts. Like we never had green on the car. Um,
right.
but ironically, I was asked to drive a green go-kart one time. Um, bright green. The only lettering on it was a black number one. That was it.
Oh my goodness.
So it was all green, and I ended up lapping second place. So
Wow. Okay, we
I
might
don't know.
have
It's
to.
one of those things I do, but at the same time, like I've had pretty good luck with it.
Right. And the odd thing is that like so like when we met you guys in March of last year, James had mentioned that before, and that was like one that I hadn't heard before, and like I wrote it down in my notes and everything, and I was like, did he say green on the race car or
Yep,
like don't wear green on
nothing.
race day? I couldn't remember, but
Yeah, no
like I'm
green on
glad
the
you
race
brought that
car.
up.
When we were kids, we used to keep a roll of green duct tape, and we would tape it on places on our friends' go-karts where
Oh
you couldn't
no,
see it
bad
at.
luck. That's terrible, dude. That's terrible. All right, so my next question actually is it's a little bit more serious. So
All right.
we like to keep it, fun hearted here, but like uh so for the people at home, could you explain how like an underfunded team such as yourself, how do you overcome um like how do you overcome the advantages that the larger funded teams have? So like if you are like you have a bad race, you get lapped or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, how do you yourself? How do you overcome that?
You really just have to set realistic goals, right? Um, when we're out there racing against some of these people, it's like we know like we probably don't have the same equipment as they do, and that's okay, right? But just like we have bad nights, they're gonna have bad nights too, right?
Right,
So it's up to us to capitalize on things like that, right? You can't even going, we were running this with Top Gun, right? But we've had good nights where we've beat those people. Um, and going into Carolina, it's going to be no different. There's a lot of great drivers up there, right? You got the McLean brothers, you got George Lux, you got Brianna, Ben McCall, all these guys that can run up front any day of the week, right? Um,
right,
and if we go up there and we're like, oh, okay, well, there's these five or six people, so the best we're going to do is seventh. Like, then we don't need to be there, right? If we're going to go in there with that mentality. Um, but the thing is, like, we just have to go in there and do our best and know that we prepared, and sometimes you prepare better than someone else, right? I mean, sometimes, even in NASCAR, right? Kyle Larson finishes 30 something, right?
right.
Um, there's something that was told to me when I first bought my car and got into sprint car racing. It was like if you just have your motor tuned up right, like sitting in the staging area with that thing idling, you've already beat some people if your stuff sounds rowdier than theirs. So part of it's
Okay,
a mind game too, right?
right,
If you pull up and people are like, man, that's a good looking car. The thing sounds good. Like I bet he's fast. They've already got it in their mind that you're gonna beat them. So, um, you just got to go into it, and we got to do the best we can in the shop during the week or in the garage, whatever, during the week, and show up with the best piece that we can. And luckily we're not racing trailers, we're not racing things like that, right? We're racing cars, so um, we just got to show out.
right. I mean, like that sounds like a perfect answer to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it's tough. It gets you down sometime. We probably have more bad nights than they do for sure, but we have these glimmers of hope every once in a while, and it feels good, and we can get up there and race with them. So
Right. There's this like saying in wrestling. I do a lot of like
yeah,
for me being so into like dirt track racing, like just as much I'm into wrestling. Like I went to wrestling school for a little bit.
nice.
So like yeah, like that's like so weird to say to like people and like people's reaction like, "Oh, really?" Yes. But they like to say, "Who'd you ever beat?" And it's like that's kind of the same thing. It's like
Yeah,
you already kind of won because at least you're going out on the track. You're doing what you love.
yeah,
So, and
for
not a lot of
sure.
people can say that they do go out and compete. You know?
Yeah, and at first it was like, hey, let's just finish a race, right? Um, and it's gotten to the point where it's like, hey, let's finish on. Then it was like, let's finish on the lead lap, right? If you're finishing on the lead lap against guys like Tyler Clem and Danny Martin Jr. and Brandon Gruba and all these guys, like you're doing all right, you
Oh
know?
yeah, for sure. Seriously. All right. So we mentioned Top Gun. You mentioned Top Gun. I mentioned Top Gun. Carolina Sprint Tour though, 2024. How do you prepare for that? Because it's all brand new tracks. Like you're not going to be close to home or anything. So how do you expect that to go? Like how are you doing that? Like are you doing your due diligence? Like are you on iRacing? Like
Yeah, we've definitely got some work to do. I need to get my iRacing rig back up and going, for sure. Um, but it's one of those things we're definitely going to be starting from scratch with our notebook. We've got some stuff that, we know the car likes at certain tracks and whatnot, so hopefully we'll be able to move some of that stuff over, some of that
right,
information. But it is going to be new, and from talking to the few guys we've talked to with Carolina, hopefully these guys are going to let us lean on them a little bit for some help. I really hope. So, any of y'all
right,
listening,
yeah,
um, help. But yeah, Sean Vardell, the guy that runs the series, been super super helpful so far. Again, I mentioned the McLeans earlier. They're super nice. They've actually come and raced with us down here in Florida before. Um, so hopefully I'm going to lean on them a little bit for some stuff to get us up to speed. But really, it's going to be a whole new notebook. So,
right. And I know from the interview that you did with Dune Witch on Dirt,
mhm.
Evan, right? That's his
Yep,
name. I know that Evan mentioned that some of the tracks are kind of like a sandy kind
yep,
of base. So with the comparison of that, like the closest track that we kind of have, I guess East Bay is a little sandy. It's kind of got that grit kind of feel to it in the
yeah,
dirt, and Hendry also, which you do fantastic in Hendry. So there's hope there.
yeah,
But some of these tracks that have this rich red clay. Thinking about some tracks in Georgia like Livonia,
yeah.
Smoky Mountain too. I believe has that really rich
Mhm.
red clay. How do you think that's going to compare to some of the stuff that we have here?
Uh, I don't know if it's going to. I think it goes back to that new notebook, right? But at the same time, if you get that real heavy red clay, you're kind of hammered down, right? Which really works out for me well, like at Volusia, where it's kind of hammer down. I like a hammer down track just because um, I'm still newer to the wheel behind a sprint car, and that kind of takes the driver aspect out of it when it's a lot easier to drive. Um,
Right,
but again, the flip side, you mentioned we're pretty good at Hendry, which is a track where you've got to be up on the wheel and playing that pedal. So, it really can go either way. I really like the hammer down stuff, and I think we're going to have the horsepower with our Moss 305 this year. Um, but at the same time, if we get a sandy track, then maybe I can move some of that stuff from Hendry over into the car and be able to be successful with that. But the tracks are going to be completely different. I mean, really down here, you get a lot of variation. I mean, you think about between Volusia, between East Bay, between Hendry, you've got three completely different surfaces. Um,
right,
so it's really hard to say like this is what a Florida track looks like because there isn't a there isn't anything that says this is what a Florida track looks like, right? But
right. Yeah,
I'm
there.
really excited to get up north and get into that red clay and really kind of learn something new and maybe a little more consistency in the surfaces that we see.
Right. So leading into that, is there any track that you have absolutely like circled on the Carolina Sprint Tour? Like I mentioned Livonia. Livonia's in August, which
Hmm.
I'd love to get out there. One of my best friends from Kansas actually is from Livonia.
Nice.
So like that was the track that I was like, oh yes, yes, circle this one. And it was so early in the season that I was just like, I don't think I can swing that
Yeah.
one.
No, Livonia is actually for us too one of the ones that we've got circled. Um, Sorry, we've got Igor making a guest appearance over here. Oh yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend,
Yeah.
Igor. Let's go.
But Livonia is one of them for a couple of reasons. I've got a lot of family like right outside the Atlanta area, so that's going to be the closest to them. I think they're gonna come hang out, uh, so which would be great. They don't get to come down here to Florida to race, and they do a good job supporting my racing too. And
Right.
the other one is Smoky Mountain up in Tennessee. For one, just Tennessee is beautiful, right?
Right.
Um,
Yes.
the the scenery around that racetrack is awesome. But on top of that too, my grandfather lives in Marysville, whatever the little town is
Marysville.
that
Okay.
that track is in.
Hmm.
So he's going to make it to a race too. So those
Oh, dude,
two,
that's awesome.
yeah. So those two are the tracks that we've got circled, just because it's close to family, the ones that really don't get to see us race. So,
Right. You're gonna have your own top row rowdies, basically.
God, dude, I would love that. Just bouncing around blow up dolls and throwing marshmallows and
We got to get them the clapper things
yeah,
like they have at the hockey games.
yeah.
Yes, we got to like custom make some like Orzechowski ones.
I'm down. Let's do it.
So for the people that don't know, at the Chili Bowl, there's this group of people. They sit, top section. They're called the Top Row Rowdies, and I mean, the name says it all. They're top row rowdies. Like, uh, this year they asked for people not to bring marshmallows. Um, so I guess last year were they throwing around marshmallows?
Oh, the marshmallows get intense.
Oh no.
Yeah, they end up all over
That's
the racetrack.
that's pretty funny though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that at least this year, like I somehow got on to their like Facebook page, and like they actually have like a pretty big following and everything, and I was like, this is this is different. Okay. But yeah, so I guess my next question would be, now that you're racing in the Carolina Sprint
hmm
Tour, it's a completely different like classification of sprint cars. Could you like elaborate what it is? 305 compared to like what you were doing with the 360s.
So it's not as big of a difference as people might think, right? Because we were running what's called a limited 360, right? Steel head, steel block. Um, our engine was right at like 550 horsepower. Um, and these 305s, like a good 305 is somewhere around 500. So I can't tell you exactly where mine's at right now.
Right.
We haven't had it dynoed. Like I said, Chris Moss is working on it right now. I just sent him the fuel pump the other day for him to finish everything up. Um, so hopefully we'll be able to go pick that up soon. So it's not a huge horsepower difference, and honestly, it's probably going to be pretty close to the engine I ran year one, right, where we were
Okay.
kind of down on power. Um, so it's not. I don't anticipate it being a huge learning curve. Like, okay, we're going to be running something a lot slower. We actually have some 305 guys that used to come down and run during Winter Nationals with us that were pretty competitive. So I think it should be a pretty smooth transition from the limited 360 to the 305. Now, from the ASCS 360, which is coming up down here in Florida, um,
Right.
now there's a 200 plus horsepower difference there, so that would be a big deal. But I've never run one of those. If someone would like to send us some money to run one, we'd be happy to. But it's
Or
just
if you could get some seat time in one.
yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll drive anything with a steering wheel. But that's just it shouldn't be as big of a learning curve as it might sound. Like, okay, we're going from this 360 to this 305. Like the differences should be minimal.
Right. Okay. I like that you kind of like laid it out a lot easier. So like, I had a friend up in Georgia. He like listened to the podcast recently, and I kind of bounced some ideas. I was like, "Is there anything that you would kind of like any notes that you had for me? Like, did I explain something well enough so that you could grasp like what I'm talking about?"
Yeah.
And like that's something I've been thinking about recently. Is that like mainly when I put this out, it's like for people that already know racing. But like, I should welcome people in. Like, we need to welcome more people into racing and like
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
for sure.
explain stuff. You know?
Yeah, and I'll hit it a little more. Like the biggest difference is like the 305 is sealed. Um, so like we can't do anything with it, right? It is a spec seal, not spec, but you know it's built to a certain spec and sealed. Whereas the limiteds were a little more open, right? And you know you were more reliant on good tech than a seal, right?
Right.
So there is differences as far as like the background of it, but as far as the performance, it should be pretty close.
Okay. So the other thing is that if you've never been to a dirt track before and seen full size sprint cars, not like mini sprints or anything,
Right.
you'll notice that you have to have a push truck or a
Yeah.
push vehicle in order to get them going, right? So, could you tell me who exactly designed this so that you don't have like an automatic like starter or anything? Like, do you know?
I really don't know. But whoever it was wanted to save some weight.
Okay,
Uh,
all right, that's a
so
fair
you
answer.
know we have really light cars compared to a late model or a modified or anything like that. We are even our heavy cars are 1,600 pounds with the driver. So
Okay,
it is a weight saving. I actually have seen some guys that have starters on their sprint cars. So
so
it's
it's
not.
not like a mandatory like it's not like everybody could like it has to be this way.
Yeah, but then you got to add you got to add a flex plate. You have to have a starter. You have to have a battery. You have to have all this stuff. So there's ways to do it, but it's not economical for what we do, right?
Right.
And like a lot of people, sprint cars hold up the show, whatever, with all that crap, push start and all that. But I think it's part of the allure of sprint cars, right? It makes us different from everything else. It's one of those things. It's unique.
All right, so leading off of the 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 starter question. I
Yeah,
know I heard you mention that uh, the cars weigh less than late models, modifieds, street stocks. Do you
yeah.
have any guilty pleasure classes besides sprint cars? Can't be a sprint car. Do
Okay.
you have any like class that you're like, okay, let me sit down. I'm gonna watch this feature. I absolutely love them. Don't tell don't tell my dad because he helps fund my race car.
No, no, and actually, Dad would probably have the same answer as me here. We like the big block modifieds. We don't get to see them a whole lot down here, so it's kind of like a
Right.
treat when we do. Um, so the big block mods are really cool, and then like outside, like whole different scope of like dirt track, outside of dirt track and all that stuff. Like right now, the Dakar rally is going on.
Okay.
Um, so out in Saudi Arabia, so like Dad and I love watching the Dakar rally. Love things like that. So again, kind of way off in left field compared to dirt track stuff, but as
Right.
far as like your normal dirt track stuff, the big block mods are our guilty pleasure.
I did not think that was going to be your answer at all. Cuz like I didn't even consider that because of the fact that they're so uh like almost region locked to
Yeah, exactly.
like the New York area, like
Yeah, New York,
upper.
Canada, all New Jersey up there. Yeah, but like when we went to Charlotte a couple months ago, they're down there for the World Finals. They used to come down to Volusia. They still do come down to Volusia
Right.
for the one race. We love seeing them there. So again, it's one of those things that we don't get to see them often. So when we do get to see them, it's pretty exciting.
Right. I haven't seen big block modifieds. I guess those would be the more like buffed up version of mini mods, I guess.
It's like they're like center steer. You sit in the middle, right? They look like a sprint car with a body almost.
Oh, okay. All right. That it would make a little bit more sense now that you like are like framing it like that.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna Danny Dietrich you. So you're gonna take a trip with me. So just keep going.
All right, all right, all right. I think I only
Double D
have
did this
one
on
more.
Gravel's podcast, but
Let's see.
yeah,
I think that
I
was it,
I should
man.
probably
I
look
think
and
that
see.
was the only. Uh, I think that was the only questions that I really had listed. I can't really think of anything
Yeah,
else. So you're not going to do the full Carolina Sprint Tour unless there's a sponsor that wants
right.
to step up and give you some extra funding so that you can make every
Yeah,
race, right?
yeah. Like you said, you mentioned the travel distance. Most of the tracks are a little bit further than Hendry, but some of them are about the same, so it's not that big of a deal. But um, there is a lot. There is some of the weekend Friday Saturday shows, and you know we're going to be doing it with two kids. Um, all that. We've got my daughter Olivia, she's 2, and Logan's going to be born here in a couple weeks. So on top of that, I'm in the market for like a cheaper motorhome and stuff. So like it's just there's a lot, right, to make this happen week in and week out. So we're gonna try. We're gonna do our best. There's one race that we just can't make,
Right,
no
and
matter what,
you'll be up
because we're
in
gonna be in we're
Iowa,
gonna be in South Dakota,
South Dakota. That's
uh,
the other spot.
South Dakota for Huset's for the High Banks
Yep.
Nationals. So we're gonna be missing out on that race at Carolina Speedway. Um, but the rest of them, if we can, we'd like to try to make them as many as we can. But like you said, finances plays a big part in that. Of course, if we could get a large sponsor to come on board, that would be great. But we also are not blind to how the economy is, so we get it.
Right.
We will be, stay tuned. We will be opening the Wing Dog program again that we did last year.
Let's go.
James and I were brainstorming an idea for our video on that at a reduced cost. So anybody listening, keep an eye out for that, eye and ear out for that. So if you want your name on the wing of the race car for the year on a hot dog sticker, we can make that happen. So I'm gonna just drop that little piece right
There we
there,
go. Breaking
and
news on the Last
stay
Waltz
yes.
Media podcast. You know.
That's it. Yeah, we haven't really talked about it yet. So just gonna put that little nugget out there, and stay tuned to our Facebook and our YouTube for how to get on board with that.
Yeah, and I will go ahead link that in the description below. It'll be on YouTube because we decided that we were going to do some YouTube, be stars like you and James, and
That's
it'll
it.
also be listed on our Spotify too. So,
Awesome. Perfect.
let's see. So the funny thing is that Livonia and Smoky Mountain were the two that I picked for us to go to. That we were going to go to. Casey and I already planned out that we're going to go to Smoky Mountain in August. So
Perfect.
we got to be there for you, dude. Like,
That's it.
we're here
I
to support
appreciate
you.
it.
We
Yeah, that
gotta,
was one that me and Dad both.
as initial sponsors want to be at the track for you, guy. So
That's it. We'll put on a show for you.
you always do, man. You always do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead.
We're excited to get there.
I'm gonna end it here. So
Yeah.
you wanna actually
Yeah. Just
shout
I was
out?
gonna say before we end,
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
gonna give a shout out to a couple people.
Yeah, of course.
I really want to thank everybody that helps me out. Obviously, y'all have been huge supporters of us since we met. And I very much appreciate that. Um, my parents are a big part of what we do. I really couldn't do any of this without them. Um, Autumn's a huge supporter. She you're cheering in the background now,
World
but
famous Autumn.
yeah, yeah, world famous Autumn. Uh, so she puts up with a lot of crap. And then of course James does a lot for us as far as not only at the track but all of our social media stuff. And Igor's all right too. Um, but
Igor's pretty
and
good.
everybody that supports us, right? We have Todd, who helps us out a lot. He's always around when we need a hand. He's gonna be at all the Carolina races with us as many as he can, turning wrenches for us. Greg, um, Greg Hawkins. So a lot of people that just help when they can. We're all working class people, right? We do what we can when we can. So just appreciate everybody that keeps our little team going. And of course, Chris Moss for keeping the horsepower under the hood for us.
Absolutely. All right. Well, there's my first interview with the always professional Tyler Orzechowski.